Hey everyone, this is David, the Formative Community Manager, and I'm here to show you our new Formative Community website and share how you can be a community leader on it. So we have our Google group right now, which is great for feature requests, for beta testing, and to get inside looks at what's coming up next for Formative. And it's going to stay that way. But we want to create this community website to really open up our community to our 50,000 plus teachers that are using Formative and give you a place where you can collaborate. So here we are on the community website. You can see this is just the home page, and we have 4 sections at the top here. Forum, which we'll go into detail in a minute. We have Spotlight, which is where we can spotlight teachers and how they use Formative, like Casey. We have Thoughts, which is our blog, and features blog posts like what is a formative assessment. So you can definitely write for our blog. And then lastly, we have our resources, which is our library, our Google Slides, and our user guide. And we can go into those a little bit later. Let's start out with the forum. Now, this forum is where our 50,000 plus teachers can talk about how to use Formative and the current features, talk about positive experiences using Formative, and more than that, the Wall of Love is for just discussing interesting ways that people are using Formative, like how Angela Gonzalez uses Formative with Blend-Space to really differentiate for her students. A lot of great ideas can come out of here. And lastly, we have Share Formative with Others, which is for sharing opportunities and resources for presenting Formative. Right? And lastly, there's a little note down here that says, please message us over the site for bugs, feedback, or feature requests. Okay? And so now as a community leader, it's really about generating conversation within these 3 channels. Right? And so let's start with how to use Formative. And so actually right now, let's get you into this site. And so you can go ahead and enter this URL like I'm about to do, and go ahead and check out the forum with me. So we're going to this URL, and we can sign in with visitor access. And then just like that, we're into the site. Now we can go ahead and click on forum. We're already on forum, and then we can see all our posts so far, but let's just click on the channel how to use Formative, right? And so now from here we can see that Ron Burgundy has posted a question about classes. How do you create a class? What are the benefits? So if you want to go ahead and log in with me right now, go ahead and click login, and then you can use one of these 3 options. Let's just use Google. And really, you don't really have to create an account for the forum. You're just authenticating with your Google account. So you can just go ahead and sign in. And then once we're signed in, we can check it out. So Ron has posted, how do you create a class? What are the benefits? If I switch over to my account as David Kwan, I can go ahead and respond to this as a community leader to really help out Ron. And I can say, you can go to the classes page and click on create a new class. Right? So I purposely left out a little bit of detail, because if you want to jump in right now and add a couple more details, or maybe a helpful picture or GIF, I totally encourage it. Right? We can have multiple answers for the same question with just added detail. Right? And so, like I said, being a community leader here in this first focus area is just about answering questions, but also asking questions when you have them as well. So I might not know something, I might want to ask the group. So I can enter something here, starting with the title and then the actual question. Right? And then if you spot any of those bugs, that feedback or feature requests, like, let's say Ron posts something like, bug, dashboard looks weird, as a team, we do like to answer questions about bugs and feature requests and feedback, because they really do improve our site. And we handle those in the Google group and over the site as well. So if you spot something like this, you can go ahead and reply and just let that person know, like, thanks for pointing that out. We'll look into it. Or if you're on the Treen team, you can say, the team is responsive. They'll definitely look into it. In the future, you can message them over the site about bugs. Smiley face, right? Because we definitely want to see and answer their questions, but we want to make sure this forum is just for these three purposes. So we can post that. Okay. And then the second channel is Wall of Love. Remember, this is all about sharing positive experiences. So we can see that Lisa, Ron, Dr. Prince, and Heather have all posted. Let's look at Heather's post down here. She says it's great for providing feedback to her students. And so as a community leader in this section, I might want to reply to Heather and give her some positive reinforcement, say, like, awesome, I totally agree. And then I might also want to just start a conversation and learn more about her teaching background and see if we have anything in common. What do you teach? Right? And she might reply in a little bit, and based on our conversation, you might actually want to highlight her in our spotlight section, right? And how she uses formative. Or you might want to take some of the conversation, and it might inspire you to create a blog post, or it might fit in your blog post, so you can enter it there. If you want to write for the spotlight section or thought section, this is yours. So just let me know and we can get you in there. And so that's what Wall of Love is all about, right? It's also about just sharing great ideas for using formative. And so lastly, we have share formative with others, which is all about sharing opportunities and resources for presenting formative. So you can see here I posted an event that's coming up, I've posted a resource, and Ross has also posted just asking about how formative works with ELA class, because he wants to share it with other ELA teachers, right? This question is great in here as well, because he's really wanting to share formative with others, right? And so let's start with this first one. If you want to jump in and reply to my post, just giving positive reinforcement, or perhaps you know somebody in the area that you might want to connect me with that can help out with the presentation, or if you want to take a look at my slide, you can use the second link right here and just give me some positive feedback. That'd be awesome. Or make your own, or ask for a copy of it from me, and you can have it and you can edit it and share it with the forum, so that we can make sure we're diversifying our resources. And then lastly, if you want to respond to Ross here, if you're perhaps familiar with ELA and formative, I'm sure you'd really appreciate it. So once again, being a community leader in this section is all about encouraging conversation. It's about making sure we're diversifying our resources and also making sure we're helping each other out with our connections in different areas. So we've just gone over 3 focus areas for being a community leader. Now, if the forum isn't totally your thing, we have another focus area, which is our library right here. And so I've tried to make it just a little bit easier for you to be able to add a formative to your library. So you can come over to this page with me just by clicking on resources and then library. And so I'm going to show you how to add an assignment to the library, and also what it's going to look like when it shows up on our end. Because if you want to focus on helping out with the library, we got to take a look at the information coming through. So first things first, my assignment is for 7th grade. It's a practice assignment. It focuses on inequalities and specifically solving and graphing them. And the title of it is, I'm just going to paste it over, it's Solving and Graphing Inequalities. And then lastly, and perhaps most importantly, we definitely need the Share with Teachers link, which you can see how to grab in this GIF to the right. Right? And so I grabbed it from my account. And then lastly, I'm just pretending to be Ross Berman right now. So I'm putting in my Twitter handle for this assignment. Okay? And so now that I've submitted my assignment, it says thank you. And for us who are helping manage this library, it's going to show up on our end on this submission sheet. Right? You can see it's popped up at the bottom and the time it's popped up. And so now you've got all this information, and so we have the grade level, the type of assignment, the skills, the title, the link, and contact info for Mr. Berman. And so now if we want to focus on being a community leader for the library, it's all about making sure we have high quality assignments in our actual library. So we have this submission sheet, and with this most recent submission, I'm going to go ahead and click on it and check it out. And go ahead and let me know if you want the permission for the submission sheet so you can play along while you're watching this video. And so I know that the assignment is called Solving and Graphing Inequalities, so I'm going to go ahead and open that up and go ahead and quickly review his assignment. Oh, this looks really nice. I was a former math teacher. Looks awesome. So I could reach out to Ross and just give him some positive feedback and be like, your assignment rocks, and just give him a shout out when it's time to post it. So up here we can see, actually I'm going to write this up here right now, who's got this, so who's going to take responsibility for reviewing it, and then final action taken. So did you end up adding it to the library? What was your final action? So I reviewed it, and I'm definitely going to add it to the library, right? So in terms of actually adding it to the library, it's another Google spreadsheet for now. And you can see down here, if we go ahead and click on math, we can come over to the library, and then I'm going to go ahead and add it in. Right? So here we go. To add something to the library, we can just insert a row, and notice how it's just organized by grade level. And so we're in 7th grade, and I'm just going to copy over the information. It's basically in the same order, so should be able to just paste it over. There might be a few little things that we need to correct here. Alright, so we've got the grade level, the type of assignment, and then the number of assignments is 1, and this is actually the skills involved, and then this is the link, it's the author, and then in terms of the actual title, let's go back to the sheet, it's Solving and Graphing with Inequalities, so we can add that in there as well. Right? So we can just double check grade level, type of assignment, number of assignments, skills involved, title. We've got the link, and then we've got his contact info, which we can actually put at the end right there. Right? We know it's Ross Berman. Okay? All right. And so that's our last focus area, which is helping manage the library. And more than just, well, I shouldn't say just, but reviewing is a huge part of what helps to manage the library. But if you'd rather just focus on adding your own assignments to the library or your colleagues, that'd be so awesome. You can just use this to do it. And you can also grab formatives from the library itself just below here. So it was a little confusing because I showed you a separate spreadsheet, but basically it was just another copy of this same thing, right? And so we can go to math and grab an assignment or whatever subject we want down here, okay? And so thanks for just listening, and we've gone over the 4 focus areas of being a community leader, and the last thing we're going to go over are just some of the guidelines for being a community leader. We've pretty much covered everything in terms of actually what you're going to be doing as a community leader. And here's the thing, you can focus on one area, you can focus on a part of one area, you can focus on multiple areas. So like you might want to focus on 2 of the channels in the blog and the library itself. It's really up to you and what you find meaningful, all right? And so now just a quick note about if you're going to focus on the forum, it's very important that you get out as much of it as you put in. So feel free to post questions, and I know that we're all learning more about Formative as it evolves. And if you have positive experience, be sure to share that. If you have a question about sharing with others or need some backup at an event, be sure to ask for that help. Right? Being a community leader is about being an active participant and just growing your knowledge base. So you can read this over. Just let me know if you want to be a community leader, and I'll be sure to send you these guidelines. And lastly, with the library, the last part I'd like to say about it is just encouraging people to check it out over social media, along with the forum in general. And then a lot of this is about how our site works, right? So I can definitely share our user guide, our Google Slides as well, and you can edit it to make them even better. We want to give you as much power in this as possible. And lastly, the perks for being a formative community leader. You get a label on our Dream Team page. So I'm actually going to build a page within our formative community website right between here, and it's going to feature your headshots with your bios, but also if you're a community leader, you're going to get a distinction there for being one. You also can get shout outs for the work that you do in our spotlight section in the website, helping us run this community. A free virtual PD session for your school, and really I can help you out whenever personally with what you need in terms of presenting formative. Just let me know. Be happy to help. And lastly, you get free access to teacher level premium features as long as you're active. And lastly, in terms of expectations, it's really just being active in the forum as on a regular basis. So notice that we don't have like do these 3 things per week or do these 3 things per month. We really just want you to be active where you're interested, and if you think something is lacking with the community website, let us know. You know, if we see that you're inactive for maybe like a month or so or longer, we might just check in with you and just see how it's going. And if you find out that like being a community leader isn't really your thing, that's completely okay. You can always say I'm a former formative community leader, and hopefully that'll really mean something special one day, right? And you're always a Dream Team member, right? So anyways, I'm really happy to share our formative community website with you, and if you're interested, just shoot me an email and we'll get you set up, and let's just have fun with this. I'm so happy to have you on our Dream Team already. Okay, have a great day, everyone.